Oh, here we are. I was writing.
Hello. Well, I know I looked down because I took a screenshot of one of the things that I wanted to talk about just to make sure I had, like, I don't know. I'm trying to get comfortable in being imperfect. That sounds really fucking conceited, but like, especially when it comes to my voice, like, I know this is a gift. I love this gift of talking and like saying things, and I work really well on the fly. And usually when I'm on the fly, things chef's kiss, right? But then I get in my head and I overthink and I'm like, well, what if I say it wrong? Or like, what if it's not exactly the right thing? Or da 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 da. So there's like these two opposing little sides like going on. And so I had screenshot like a little blurb around it just to like, like back in the day when people
Yeah.
public spoke with their little note cards. And it's
Yeah.
like your
Yeah.
little, like one word to remember
Yeah.
like exactly what I wanted to say around it. And so anyways, yeah, I'm trying to get comfortable with just saying what it needs to be said, and it doesn't have to be perfect or polished. So,
No, it doesn't have to be at all. But I just write stuff down because I feel like sometimes I'll forget it and that there's good things I want to make sure I hit on.
yeah, I
Not
do
that it
that
has
too.
to be perfect.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no. And that's kind of this too. I just want to
Yeah.
make, I don't know. I
Now that
don't
we're,
know, funks. So
yeah.
I'm trying to chill.
Now that we can hear each other because
Oh,
somebody
God.
had their volume down on their headset.
Yeah,
Yep,
it
that's
was,
somebody.
it was fun.
It
It
was
was a
fun.
fun time had by all.
Yeah. It's not the younger of the two, it's me. Sometimes I have technical challenges. And Myra
Yeah.
knew it too. She's like, "Oh God, what have you done now?"
Well, I was like, I told Tressa, I said, part of me is sitting there like, okay, I really don't think it's me. It could be. It really could. But I was like, I have this just little feeling that it might be her. And I was like, because
This
guys, we've
little
had this
feeling.
technology for a minute, or the
Man.
equipment. Yeah, the equipment.
Yeah.
We've had it for a hot minute. And so things are going to wear and tear, blah, blah, blah. And a couple episodes, like every blue moon, it feels like one of our headphones doesn't work or the mic's
They just,
janky. Yeah,
yeah,
something happens.
just
It
screws with
does.
us.
Yeah. So like I'm like, okay, maybe it is me, but my like surefire test is if you can't hear me through my computer, then I think something else is wrong because like we went through technical difficulties the week before,
We
but
did.
at the end of the day, Tressa could always still hear me
Yeah.
at least through the computer,
Yeah.
like with everything stripped down, you know what I mean? So it was just so funny because I don't really think it's me. But the key, like, I love it because we run through the things kind of like, like you get with IT, and IT's like, oh, have you started your computer over? And
Yeah.
we do those things, I like exit out of the program and then I look down, I'm like, are all your volumes turned up?
Yeah.
Are this and this happening? And then it ended up being like, I forgot there's even
I
like a
forgot
thing.
there was even a thing right here.
Yeah, I'm glad now that we know, maybe this is lesson to point it out because if we have issues,
Yeah.
this might have been the problem last week. Who knows?
Could have been. Probably was actually, Myra. Come
You
to think
probably
of
had
it.
it muted or something.
I
So now we
Yeah.
know.
Little
We learned
fucker.
a lesson. Yeah. What can I take from this? This is the universe happening for you, not to you. Yeah.
Yes. How it
Teachable
and
moment.
karma for me. I was just so frustrated with my mother who has a brain tumor, but she's never been good at technology trying to navigate something over the phone. Now poor Myra had to do it with me. Like, well, that was fast.
Yeah. Hey, it's saying be patient. The lesson is
Patient. Oh,
patience.
yeah. My patience is not the greatest today. It's a little fried.
Yeah. I think it's funny. I was, Trista's had a day, and then I went to another funeral today, and I'm like, God, I almost texted her myself too, saying like, listen, I'll be fine to record, but I've been crying, so everyone gets to see me cry again, and feel like every damn week I record is someone dead.
Yeah.
Like I am like,
Hmm.
God, I don't even like I'm scared for next week. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
this
know.
is
It's
crazy.
true.
Like
Yep.
every time Tristan talks to me, she's like, oh, the funeral girl. I mean, instead of wedding crashers, I'm like funeral crashers around
Yeah.
here. But yeah, so I'm like, oh my gosh. So we've talked about it before, but the energy is just moving fast. And
Yes.
actually, this just made me think. I was digesting some content, and a lot of the content that I've digest now is more in the metaphysical space or something to do with spirituality or techniques, manifestation, you name it. And so I was watching this girl, and she has a mentor who's a spiritual leader, I guess. I don't know. Like, honestly, someone like you. To me, it feels like if you and I had weekly meetings and
Yeah.
you were mentoring me and coaching me, and
Yeah.
we were talking about spirituality, metaphysical, and you were channeling also, because it's also what it was. So it wasn't just like, hey, here's these really cool things you could do this week. It's like, this is the message you need to know.
Hmm.
And it's really bad. Honestly, it was really cool. I'm like, that's such a cool thing. And she said that her spiritual leader, coach, mentor, I don't even know, shaman, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like terms, but he told her that anyone in the metaphysical space, or anyone who practices any form spirituality, or who's on a journey path, etc., but especially those who are like in this metaphysical workings. So if you channel, you do heal, saying that everyone needs to at least take 3 days off in the month of April. And he said that in the month of April, that everyone needed at least 3 days of rest. And the rest would allow the body to recharge, because after that time period, then it would become like everything's going to pop off and go super fast.
Okay.
And sorry, that whole time I'm talking, folks, my computer just did the craziest shit that's ever happened to me. It just
You
told me my
completely.
camera. Yeah. So I'm like, was I not supposed to share that message? I'm not sure.
So what
But
happened on your side? I'll tell you what happened on my side.
my
What
entire
happened?
my entire camera blacked, and it said I have no access to being filmed at this time. I've never had that to happen ever. So that was
That's
fun.
so strange. So you started to buffer, your voice for a minute.
Yeah.
Then the picture went dark and
Yes.
I could
It
still
was
see you, but
red.
it was frozen.
But
Yeah,
mine was
red and
red.
yes, same. It was
I'm
like
so
red and weird. And then, but I could still hear you okay. And then now you're back. That's wild.
I'm scared.
Hmm. What would be wrong with sharing 3 days of rest?
I don't know. Maybe the energies, others don't want people to know. I don't know. That was weird. I didn't like it.
That is strange.
I
No,
didn't
it
like,
was
guys, I
strange.
went black with red, and we'll see how this
Yeah,
shows up
it
on the
was
other
weird.
side. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it will
That
be.
was,
Usually it's fine, but
yeah, I've never had that.
that, yeah.
No.
So do you want to stop talking about it?
Yeah.
Or do you want to tell us what he said, why they need it, the 3 days of
Well,
rest?
shit's getting real. That's it. Like, honestly, and
Gotcha.
we've talked about that's what made me
Yes,
bring this
yes,
back up,
gotcha.
and
Okay.
it like jogged my memory of seeing the
Yeah.
content, because he was saying that, and we've talked about it, like there needs to be some form of something, because right now there's this feeling of like, well, the fire horse happened, nothing's going on, or like
Nothing's going
this.
on. What world they living in?
No, I know, but like,
Yeah.
or like speed it up, or like, or it was, I think more personal, because there's a lot of shit going on, you know what I mean? But like, and some personal things are going on, but it depends on what people are seeking, right? Or like, okay, well, where's it at, or whatever. But basically, the message is that you need to rest and recharge, and then because things are picking up and things are going to shift fast. And this has been a message that Tress has also shared with me before in one of my sessions about 2 months ago, about things are going to pick up and go fast. And I honestly thought they would have already picked up and gone fast now. And maybe they are. Maybe they are. And things can be still going on, and things are obviously in the world. But I guess my interpretation was like personal. I don't know. That's just me. And it's very interesting though, because then I heard that, and it felt like I look at life as patterns and codes. I'm a very creative individual, but my strategical analytical side, I love to put things together. And so I felt like the message that it was given to me in February with Tressa was like a puzzle piece. And then I saw this piece of content, and it was the connector. And it was really cool. It was like, okay, so this is confirmation of the information I was. Okay, now I have a thumbs up. All right, I'm not as scared. I'm not as scared. I'm like, holy shit. I need a cigarette on live television.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
I felt like it was just confirmation. And it was really cool, because I did actually just take 3 days of rest. I did just do that. So it felt even more confirming of like, great. And you know what, though? I can say, yeah, the whole month of March, I felt like a damn, like if you want to look, I like visuals. So I felt like a fucking like guy just juggling balls. Like I was crying every other day. I felt like I was expressing my mental overload to my to Blake. I was expressing it to my family. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I felt burnout to the fifth degree. I felt unstable mentally. I felt like I was failing in every area of my life. And I did this reset, and I'm not joking, nothing changed, and I'm back, and I feel calm. Like and actually this week's more is busier than my weeks were in March. Like there's something every single night going on, and I'm not like I feel very calm about it. And so like after hearing that message, whether it be something spiritually going on, whether it be something personally going on, or whether it be if you're in the spiritual community and you're an empath or energy or whatever it is, the reset that I received from just doing absolutely fucking nothing for a couple days, like 2 days, I think he even said like 2 to 3. Like it doesn't need to be 3, but like just
Yeah,
time of
just
doing
some time.
absolute nothing,
Yeah.
nothing. And it helped me. So I don't know what the next part is, but I don't know, us talking about it made me remember it. And it felt like I've had this show up for me in a message about 3 times now. And for me, that's what I feel like is how I channel. I get like same messages over and over and over again, and then I speak it. And so for me, I feel like I needed to share it before my technology scared the fuck out of me. So I'm just gonna be honest. So, anyways, that's that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think things are wild right now. I think it's interesting how we hear a message like you did, and I don't even remember as per normal what I tell you in your session, but like the way that you interpret it is ultimately your monkey mind telling you what you desire, right? Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that things are going wild. It's here in the valley. This is very, well, a lot of people think it's depressing. It's just what's happened. In like the last 2 weeks, we've had two different people commit suicide. One was one of my classmates, and then a guy that works with Troy. And it's interesting because, you've had two
2
funerals too,
funerals. I was about to
you
say,
know?
yeah, I've gone to 2 funerals back to back, and I haven't been to a funeral I don't know how fucking long, but
Yeah. And the other night I went after, it was the same day that we found out that the guy that works at the mines with Troy
mhm,
died. And we were going up to the mountains and I talked to my main tree, Benjamin, went and
mhm,
saw him. He pulled out a whole bunch of stuff from my heart, but he said to me the same things my guides had told me at the beginning of the year. Like, this will get worse before it gets better. Like,
mhm.
buckle up kind of.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's true. And then the next day,
Mhm.
you know, my cousin's texting me about this other little gal that we knew. My aunt had taken her in and out all of her life because her mother was in and out of jail. They found her dead. It's a
Oh.
wild energy right now. So
Yeah.
I
Shit
think
is
what
popping off.
shit
Yeah.
is popping.
It
Shit is
really is.
going
It really
crazy.
is. Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think, and timelines are moving just so fast because you think, oh my gosh, I just thought about these two
Mhm.
males in the same community, back to back ultimately, a few weeks apart. But, that's not, it happens, but usually it's like months or a year or, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I just think it's going to be wild. And hopefully it's not all that. It's not all death and despair, but I think there's going to be a lot of that too. So
Yeah.
I see what he's saying about the reset and really taking care of yourself
Yeah.
because I think the energies are definitely
Yeah.
speeding up and moving out old energies that are no
Mhm.
longer going to be supported,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I agree. And the message from him was very much like April is this calm before the storm. And like
If
it
this is the
truly,
calm shit,
I know, I know. I think like,
welcome to my world.
no, I know, I know. Well, that's the thing. Like, because I know you laugh, and it's true. Like, who am I to say things aren't crazy? Because I know things are crazy. That's not
No,
for
I know what you're
me. You know
saying.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna be honest. My desires of my heart, because of the shit that happened over the last couple years, I'm ready to move on. That's where
Yeah.
I'm at. So, like
Yeah.
me personally, I feel like yes, there's things going on around me, but the movement, I want my own movement. I'm ready to go, and like I've talked about it on here before, and I'll talk about some of this later too, but I've been really into understanding astrology, and astrology is just patterns and codes also.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the
Yeah.
matrix, and studying birth charts and astrology for me is like cracking the matrix. Like I enjoy this. It's fun for me. And so the more and more I've understood my personal birth chart, I really get why I do make bold decisions and I move boldly and I do things. And so when stuff feels stagnant, I understand my restlessness. You know, so I understand. So
Yeah.
I might feel personally restless right now around personal things. And so, like, right, it's interesting how when you hear things, how it's interpreted by that person in those moments.
Mhm.
But like in my session with Tressa, I received the guidance that shit was going to move on, but the piece that was given to me was a protocol for grounding. And so that is my advice to everyone is ground, ground, ground. I don't care how the
Mhm.
fuck you ground. I don't care if it's meditating, if you just go and stand in grass for 5 minutes or touch a tree. I don't care if you are sitting in silence or in quiet, or if your meditation and your prayer are combined, because those things can be one and the same. Light a fucking candle. I don't know. Work out, take a walk, because that is what I'm taking from this based on the information given to me months ago, based on the information I'm reading right now, and
Mhm.
then based on planetary transits that I'm also studying. There's just like I was telling Tressa before this, like there is a new moon coming up this Friday in Aries, and new moons are beautiful and very powerful, and they're the time to set intentions and to really align their resets, right? But what makes this new moon crazier, I guess, and I don't like fear mongering. So that might be why I also feel like things are like, well, not that I live in La La Land, but I don't believe in like scaring people or making people feel despair, because there's already enough of that going around. Like I believe in being honest, but like in a not a fluff way, but like a grounded, honestly, more in a grounded way. Like,
Mhm.
and so what's happening is we're going to have this new moon, Aries, which the zodiac sign of Aries represents. It's a fire sign, so you're looking at a lot of fire energy. But what I was saving around this though, and wanted to talk about, is the fact that on Friday we will have 7 planets all in the sign of Aries. 7 planets, and that is not normal, and it's not common to happen like this. And so there's a lot of people that I've seen floating around just talking about like shit's getting real, and like there's a lot of scared energy, and like mid-April
Shit's getting real.
the fucking world's on fire is how they're all portraying it. And
And
maybe I
sometimes
don't know what the
literally.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I don't have that gift of crystal balling. I mean, I don't know, but this is a powerful time of transformations, whatever that transformation may be. And this is that part of interpreting things like, I was talking to someone and about the word good fortune or favor. And for me, good fortune, because I'm open and I have a different mindset, someone bringing me a gallon of milk because I couldn't leave the house with Draco, that's a favor. That's good fortune. That's a blessing to me. When I'm getting a pedicure and having my legs massaged extra, you know what I mean? That's good fortune. That's a favor. For someone else, those things are overlooked because they're too busy looking for like millions of dollars or a new job or a car being parked in their driveway. And I mean, that's badass too.
Yeah.
And we can be open to that too. But when you are so focused on those things, you miss the other beautiful moments happening in your life. I also mean that with an opposition to like this energy that people are proclaiming is happening this weekend, or even the energy that I'm talking about from this metaphysical teacher, or even my own personal session 2 months ago. Like, I'm not looking at it in a negative light. I think that transformation can be challenging, but it can also be beautiful. And so whatever this energy is, I'm personally choosing to harness this energy in the direction for my highest good, surrender what that means. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that could mean. And sometimes in transformation, things have to burn down for the good to come out, or you know what I mean? Like some shit just
They
has
do.
to crumble.
Yeah.
And I've learned that very, very well. And I understand now why things had to burn down, kind of like a phoenix, burn down, and then you rise from the ashes, right? And so there's just a lot of heavy, fiery energy going on. So if people feel impulsive this week, very restless this week, and there's a transit where there's a lot of wound healing going on. So there could be just emotions, like I said, or drive, action. If you feel really inspired, like you could feel even inspired this week. Like there's many emotions that people can be going through, whether, you believe in the transits or not. This is what the planets are saying. And this new moon is just an even more bold, powerful new moon, because there's so much energy that equals boldness, action, like not just speaking an intention out or writing an intention down, but like if you write on Friday, I want to go viral, for example, I don't fucking know, then post a video that's saying not like you back it up. Like you need to back it up. So if you're like, I want to sell sourdough, sell a loaf of bread that night or something, like plan it. You have to put some kind of action or plan
Action.
around it or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. Like, or whatever you're manifesting or what intentions you're putting out there, whatever it looks like. And so there's just so much around it. And I really think like ultimately it's a beautiful time for transformation and whatever that looks like. And I tried to focus on what I can control in my life versus what I can't control. And that's a hard lesson that I've learned. I'm still learning because it's not easy. And so this is just how I'm choosing to interpret this information for my highest good. And not that it's being oblivious, because I am aware. Awareness is key. I'm not just walking around like nothing's happening, but I'm choosing to align it this way and use this as fuel to continue my life, because I hope I live a long life. I hope that Friday the world's not ending for me. You know what I mean? Like I hope that I can continue to live in this space, and like I'm finally learning to be comfortable here in this body and not here in the mind all the time. And so like I hope for that it something happens good. You know, I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there. But that was my spiel about boldness, transits, planets, and the new moon and intentions.
Yeah, it's interesting. You touched on a few things that have come up. I've always been a huge advocate for grounding. You know that.
Yeah.
Um, and I ground every day, but it's like more grounding must be needed because I think I was in the mountains 3 times last week. I go a lot, but
Yeah.
I mean, I go an abnormal amount of time for most people, but never like that. And it's like something in my energy is just needing to be in nature, which is where I ground the best, right? But it's
Yeah.
also in the last few weeks come up with every client I've worked with grounding and surrendering. The surrender energy has come up multiple times. There's definitely something to that. And you know, you talk about the word transformation and even the short stories I just shared with you. Like it's just transformation. Like I'm not viewing it in a negative way
Yeah.
because you get to choose how you view it, right? It's neutral until you give it a label.
Yep.
And so I was talking to a client actually about this last night. Because she had brought up this situation I just had discussed with these two gentlemen who transitioned. And one of the things I was sharing with her is, you know, I've really been working on trying to, like, we're so programmed. I'm so sorry that happened. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, I've really noticed that that programming is so ingrained. And I truly believe that divinity is everything happens without coincidence. Everything's happening in divine timing. So if it's their transition point, like, what do I really have to be sorry about? Now, can I say to the individual, you know, I'm sure that you're going through a lot of emotion and grief. Of course you are. Yes, of course. You know, but what does that even do for anyone, those words? Because they're so programmed and empty. So we were just having this dialogue around it, at her perspective and my perspective. And even me, it's still hard for me. I try to speak from my heart instead of just using those words that were so programmed. Because it doesn't necessarily have to mean this horrible thing, but we all view it that way, right?
Yeah.
Even you know, or using terms like, is it negative? No, not
Yeah.
necessarily. It, you know, because we talked about that in a few episodes back, you know, like there's beauty in grief at times.
Yep.
You know, there's amazing things that happen within those opportunities that we get to have. So I don't think, even as I say, I think energies are moving faster and things are going to happen a lot quicker. It's giving us transformation at a quicker rate. And
I
how
agree.
we show up for it is always on us. But
Oh yeah.
I honestly think what you said about grounding is vital right now. If you do nothing else, ground
Yeah.
every
That's how.
day.
Yep.
If you do nothing else, get grounded because you're here on Mother Earth. Use that energy to really
Yeah.
help you have a solid foundation.
Oh yeah. I agree. If you don't listen to anything else I say or try to listen to that today, I don't give a shit what else. You
That's
fuck
right.
everything else. Fuck my red face screen thing. Like I don't care. But you're right. And a couple things you said to wrap up or to add on to the grounding. That was also part of what I was going through in March. I know I wasn't properly or dedicating my time to meditate, to ground like I needed to. I was going to bed, waking up, adding more and never releasing. Or like I wasn't, or I might have been doing some things, but nothing was anchored. Right. And so that is also something that I'm like, you know what? I went to Dollar Tree and they have prayer candles. Sorry if that was loud, but they have
Oh
prayer
yeah,
candles, and they
I've
have
gotten
like,
some from them.
okay,
Yeah,
honey, yeah,
yeah.
that's the other tip. If you take anything, this is the second one. If you do any candle work or use candles for meditation, go to your Dollar Tree, folks.
Mhm.
And I went, and Nola went with me, and they have like they're plain, like they have all these different colors, and I picked out some ones, and Nola's like, "Oh, I really like this one. I really want this pink one. I want this purple one." And I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "Well, what are you going to use them for?" And I'm like, "I'm going to use them for my meditation." She's like, "Okay, great." And so she goes and picks out her candles, and she's been coming. And when I'm meditating, and that's another thing. I've been trying to like make sure that I'm giving my personal time, right? But life happens. And so some of the times when I'm meditating, she's joined. And, part of me wants to be like, go away, it's my time. And then the other half of me is like, no, 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 this is what needs to be. This is
Yeah,
what, you know what I mean? And so she's been like meditating with me, and it's so cute. And she calls it like mediation. I don't know what she calls, but it's precious. I mean, it is
mediation. That's
so
awesome.
precious. But it's like it's like meditative. I don't even know. It is
Yeah,
so cute.
I love it.
And so she's been doing it with me. So like I've been really leaning into candles and like choosing the candles each day. Like that's just some ritualistic for me to really get into wanting to ground or wanting to meditate. And then I move through like, okay, well, I might be using my voice more today. So I pick a light blue candle, or maybe I want some, I don't know
Hmm.
or I'm in the mood for, or I want visibility. I might pick a yellow candle or money, green, or whatever. Or I just like them all. The hell, I have a flame fest, like whatever. And it was really cool to go and do that. And then while we were at the beach, Nola wanted sand. And she's like, for my meditations. And I'm like, you're right. And she wanted water. And so I found like these little jars. And so she has like her sand and her water, and she's like, I shake it for my meditations when I'm stressed. And I'm like, sure,
Love
I like
it.
it.
She's bringing
Whatever
elements
works.
in. I
Yeah,
love
she is.
that.
I know
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
got it all going. She's got
yeah.
like the whole damn party, So like she did that. But then what's even funnier is the other day I went to my mom's, and um I have been really working on like release right now. Like, really going into like parts of me and like working through some things. And I'm in a release phase, I guess and I've been crying a lot, right? For me, that's a release. I've been sneezing to death. I'm releasing, like, I'm doing all this release. I was at my mom's, and I'm like, you know what? I'm at my mom's. Like, I'm here, I'm in my home where I grew up. And so I wanted to ground outside. And so I'm like standing there grounding and like releasing on the property. And like, I don't know, I was getting into my woo shit, right? And I had like burned a can. I was doing a whole bunch of shit. And my mom's like, what is she doing? And Nola goes, she's just in her meditation, and walks off. Like she wasn't even phased. She's just
This is
like,
just my normal life, right?
yeah, she's like, oh, she's in her meditation, and she
Mm,
walked off and
so
got in the
funny.
car. Yeah, like she's like, fuck it. Like, whatever. And mom's like, what are you doing? Are you praying? And I'm like, I guess. Like, yeah, if
Yeah,
that's how you
yeah,
want to interpret it,
sure.
But it was just so funny. And like ground folks, and like this, I think you're right. Like, I want to also hit on this other topic or part that you said about transformation. And like we talked about grief, and we've talked about the lessons and the beauty and the things that can be taken from moments even in grief. And that is how I feel about the funeral I attended today. And I feel like the puzzles all connect together here, because I've really been working on a lot of my ancestral healing, and I've really been honing in on deep rooted beliefs and like deep rooted ancestral family shit. And have I caught myself saying like, why the fuck did my family do this shit? Yes, I've actually been a little mad at my family. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've had some like little bitter thoughts because I'm human. Like, what the fuck, people? Like, what kind of inheritance is this? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this is not what I was talking about. And then today at the service, because it was a family member, and it's actually a woman, part of the matriarchal line of my my being. She's part of that. And she passed away. And as I was looking over at these other figures, including my nanny in this group, and then they talked about their legacy and their family and what they've done, I had a deep appreciation for the women in my family where I've been really bitter about a lot of things. Not bitter, but, like, I'm funny, you know what I mean? And so I've been like really people, like sarcastic, like, and
Yeah.
today was really healing for me. I cried, but I cried because I thought about how beautiful my family really is, even in the shit, right? Or
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? I needed, I'm so sad she passed, that stinks. Or she transitioned, but in today's moment, I can look back and see what I needed for me in that moment and why I was crying, what I was releasing, but this appreciation that I can see in this beauty of my grief and the grief around, she was my great aunt. So this individual, like this week, I've also, my aunt and I, my like mother sister, we've had like a 2-hour conversation and she texted me like, I love chatting with you. And like, I'm like, all right, well, this is the end of times. I've had these little experiences all week long around the feminine energy, the women of my family, and that line. And I've had a greater appreciation. I don't know. So these experiences, even through this process, I know were for me to change my perspective and like a lesson for me, a mirror back to me about my life. And like, don't hold all this anger or bitterness. Like
Yeah.
that shit's not, yes, this happened. Yes, I have to work through these things. Yes, I need to release those cycles and to move forward and come out of this with a different perspective.
I
He
feel like
wouldn't, but
when you were sharing it with me prior to us
yeah.
recording, you were, I felt like it was like tears of appreciation and joy that you were seeing in them.
Yes,
It wasn't,
totally.
that's the thing. It's like when sometimes it gives you an opportunity to look at something in a completely different way and find just a lot of gratitude and love and appreciation and view the
Mhm.
situation differently. That's what I heard you saying. It
Yeah,
wasn't
totally.
like, yeah,
Yeah, totally. It was where I've held, because like I've been, you know, like I, I've been really working through, like I hold a lot in my hips, for example, or I hold a lot in my shoulders.
man, I just read about the hips yesterday.
Yes.
Got this. Do you want me
So
to read it
like,
to you after you're done
yes,
talking?
please help. And I'm so funny, I walk around every day like, get the fuck out of me. Like, I'm asking you to heal me. Fuck. Like, I'm doing the work. Get it gone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like doing these things. I want this to happen. But you know what? Probably what needed to fucking actually happen for the release is not what I was trying to force to be the release. It was actually through love and appreciation versus bitterness, anger, resentment. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I probably, like, for me in that moment, I needed to release that way. And like, I have done some inner child healing, um like I did a meditation on the inner child and like around, especially around like money and around like programming. And I thought all week like, well, I guess I did nothing. And probably this is it. Now as I'm talking, like probably just actually appreciating and sending love to my family and
Yeah.
love to this is what I needed to do versus, have a crying fit, shaking it out, who knows, or stretching my hip or whatever. But anyways, I'll shut up if you've got it to read.
Yeah. Well, my friend sent it to me last night, and I'm not sure what source she got it out of. Maybe Louise Hayes or Feelings Buried Alive. Never.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. She was actually helping me. She was working on my mother,
Uh,
and she could feel a lot in my mom's hips, which my mom has brain tumor, but
mm,
she's also had a lot of hip pain. And it said carries the body in perfect balance, the hips do, major thrust in moving forward. And when you experience hip problems, it's fear of going forward in major decisions, nothing to move forward to. So that's interesting, just thinking about what you were talking about,
mm,
like looking at your family and your ancestral
mm-hmm.
energy prior to today was more through why me? You said
Oh,
something earlier
totally.
like, "Why'd you give me these genetics, bitches?" Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
this is my legacy. And
yeah.
then today, where does that mean where can you move forward to?
Mhm.
Then today, it gave you a different perspective because what you were sharing with me about them and their strength and their story and, their journey was
Yeah.
beautiful and
Mhm.
strong and amazing, right? And you saw that you changed your perspective, right?
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if your hip stuff goes away.
I know.
But I
I'm
do
ready.
love the affirmation that
Yeah,
this book gives because it says hip hip hooray. And isn't that just so fun to say?
that
Hip hip
is.
hooray. There's joy in every day. I'm balanced and free. I mean,
I
shit,
think that
I'm
is
gonna use
Louise.
that anyway. Is
Yeah,
it
I
Louise?
think it
Yeah.
is, yeah,
Yeah.
because she's like that. I don't
I
you know
love
what I
it.
mean? I love
Yeah.
her, and so, like, I'm pretty sure because I think I've read it, so I love that, and you're right. It's, it's part of that, and really learning to like, my hips are very tight, so, like, if I were to stretch, for example, like, my body work angel of a human, she's like, "I just wanna rip your hips open." She's like, "I just wanna" like, "What the hell are you holding on to?" You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
like, it's so funny, and so, like, you're right, and so I think that that's been part of that for me and, like, really trying to part of when you think about your healing in your life or, like, you're removing blocks or whatever, you know, there's tons of ways to frame the package here. It's easy to be and I mean, truly, I was in victim mentality, like, "What the fuck, people? Why did you do this shit?" Or
Sure.
like
It's easy to go
yeah,
there.
it's easy to
We
go
all do
there.
it.
It's
Yep.
easy to speak ill or negative or like really look at it in such a bleh lens or like, "Well, did you do that? Da 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 da. And sometimes it's, you know, like the more you can love and appreciate those people and what they were doing in the moment. And you've talked about this many, many times, like tools in the tool belt. Like these people didn't know what the hell they were doing and in studying people's birth charts, because I'm addicted to it in the moment, I've actually enjoyed looking at my families, like not just
Mhm.
my family unit, like my mom and my brothers and my dad, but also I've looked at my aunt and my uncle. And it's very interesting because, like, when my mom was born, her planets were in a way that represents the generation at the time. And so, like, the oppression that was happening in those moments and in those planets and in that time period in history. So knowing that, I'm sure because my nanny, I don't even know if they had birth certificates when she was born. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like one of her
They may
sisters
not
doesn't
have. Yeah.
have one. Like
Yeah.
serious. Like we were talking about it, and she's like, "You have to go to the Register of Deeds." I don't even. I might be in a book. Like I can't tell you where the
I
hell
might be
my
written in a notebook somewhere.
yeah. She's like, I'm in the fucking toilet paper. This like I have no idea. And so we were laughing about it. But I bet if I were to study her chart, I would see things that would represent the time and the society and what was going on in that culture. And they're coming out of the Great Depression at that time. And so it was that in between, like that end phase moving out, she wasn't born, I think she was born like at the cusp of like it either ended right away after or something like that. Like she wasn't totally fully in it. It was like right there. So like a little mid so think about that energy and the collective energy of every fucking person around during that time period, right? And so like I can't fault these like I can't like be like, damn, like why did you do that? Because what the heck, they were doing what they could do, and they didn't have all these tools or these things. And so instead of looking at it in anger or looking at it in bitterness or shame or there's a wealth of emotions that you could view this with. Like my lesson today, and hopefully those listening, maybe this is a lesson for you too, to look at it with love, compassion, with on I got honor those people actually. Like I think part of that release was giving honor to them. Like I honor
Mhm.
you for your journey. I honor you for your path. Like you walked the path you had to walk. And I give you gratitude for that because even if it wasn't the path that I was hoping they were walking, and I've got a lot of shit, it's like I can still honor you and respect you and send love to that timeline, honestly, that plane of existence, and give love and appreciation for what it is for my own healing so I can move forward. Exactly. With the hips, I can
Yeah.
move forward now. Like I can move along. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I think it's interesting you're talking about that because the maybe you wouldn't have been able to do that today had you not allowed yourself to feel the raw emotion,
yeah,
the anger, the
mhm,
frustration, because that's
that's
your
part of it.
emotions are part of it, right? I the client I worked with last night, there was a lot of feminine energy stuff going on, and I said to her, I really think you need to do some writing burns
Yeah.
around like your whole mother. There's some aunt energy. There's a lot going on, and really let that sacred rage out. And she's one that I was really trying to push like sacred rage, like whatever you're feeling, it's
Yeah.
okay because it's going down on a paper. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then I said, then we could potentially do the Toltec healing where you honor that. But until you get that out of your body and feel it, I'm not sure you could have got there today. So
No.
you think about that, there's some divine timing happening for you there.
Yeah. I love that you have a nice name for it. I'm just out here fucking freeballing.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know, you have a cute term. That was a
Thanks,
nice,
Auntie, whoever
yeah,
passed, for gifting you that.
yeah, like,
Auntie Phyllis, I don't know.
her name is Faye, close.
Hey, see, we got to be close because I think about all my great aunts' names. They were in that ballpark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Phyllis, Mary, Afton.
yeah. Well, you got, or so it, you have. Oh
Lucille
no, I
was my
forgot her
grandma.
name. Oh my God, I forgot the oldest name. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so awful. Oh my gosh. Well, there was one person, and then there was Faye, and then my nanny's Aurelie, which her name's the
Orally.
most unique, and then you have Frances, and then you get or Mary,
Mary,
and then you
see?
have Frances, and
Uh,
then you have Nancy.
okay.
And they were called the Melton Girls, and they were the Melton sisters, and Melton, so the Melton sisters, and they were these six sisters, and they are so precious, and like I'm gonna cry, but I think the appreciation I have for them too is the bond of a relationship. Like you've got these 90-year-old people, 80 late 80s, 90-year-old people, right, who still have breakfast together, who make
Yeah.
time for each other, Tressa.
Yeah.
They've all had children, they've had husbands die, they've had family members pass away, they've had all sorts of shit happen, they've moved, they've bought houses, built places, done this, done that. Some of them are got Alzheimer's, some of them are losing their minds, some of them break a hip every 2 days. And there's it's
Yeah.
so beautiful. Like you cannot harness that energy. You know what I mean? Like that's just through thick and thin, I love you. And like they have to have some karmic bond. I mean, they really do. Like I don't know many people who have friends that see each other or make the time or talk or communicate. And these women, it embodies to me what it means to be loyal. Like what does loyalty look like? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Loyalty still, you still honor yourself, you still respect yourself, and there's still boundaries. But to love someone loyally, to be fierce in your love, to have enough energy to put in but get it back, like this give and receive of a true relationship through all this time. And they made it a point to connect their families, to connect their children, to connect their grandchildren, their great grandchildren to each other. I know all those people in the room with me. I knew every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And my niece is my nanny's great granddaughter, and she knew all the people. Like to know these people that takes effort. That takes a lot of effort. When my dad passed away and my grandma had passed away just a few months before that, I can't tell you the last time I've seen my uncle and my first cousins. Like I see them in passing or I see them at festivals, but we haven't gotten together in 14 years. That's crazy. And
Mm-hmm.
I still see these other people. You know what I mean? That takes effort. That's what I take from this today. Like, wow, these beautiful people who really, really fucking love each other. That's love. That's love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's soulmate. And that's what I believe soulmate energy really is. Like it's not this like goo goo gaga. It's this like, what a way to love, show up, support, be loyal, to really connect and grow with a group of people through all this time. And Lois is her name. But anyways, thank you. She's probably like, no,
Shout
honey.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out. And like, and they grew up fucking poor as hell. They grew up poor as hell. And the church we were in today was the church they would walk to just because they wanted to see community. They would walk there barefoot. You know what I mean? Like, that's just
Yeah.
fucking powerful. Like, I don't care where they were walking to. You know what I mean? Like, and to even know someone who's 90, for God's sakes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a touch of history that you don't see walking around. Like, I
Yeah.
think of precious energies. They remind me of Howard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, for those
Yeah.
who don't know who Howard is, Howard Woody, look him up. You'll cry just reading about his life. And
Yeah.
a precious soul, like these pure energies. It's that kind of feeling. And you've got it with these women and their bond with each other. What I got today was very beautiful for me. And I hope that the sharing their story is something that people can take and think about their own relationships. And it made me think about my relationships, and it made me view the relationships of even the people sitting with me on the, like, around me were my family and my, my extended families. And I looked at each other's faces and I thought, like, what a beautiful life we've lived because of these women and like what they really strived to do. It was a healing moment for me through love and compassion and respect and honor.
Yeah, it made me think as you started to talk about that and share that that generation was unique in that way, I think, because I think of my grandmother
Mm-hmm.
and her sisters, probably of the same vintage.
Yeah.
They had, in Heber City, like they all lived around the same block area. They all
Mm-hmm.
bought homes in that area, the
Yeah.
brothers, the sisters, and they, just checked on each other every day. It was just like, and it was a simple life.
Yeah.
None that wasn't like they were living in these mansions. These were very modest homes.
Yeah.
And yeah, they would do anything for each other. They were
Yeah.
very bonded as siblings, and it's very I don't know if that exists today. We don't make time. We're all so busy and we're got to do this and make this happen and it's true. It was a much simpler lifestyle for them and I think it bonded them in different ways
Mm-hmm.
that we don't do today.
No. And I'll even share this. Like you talking about that, so my nanny chose to actively become a member of the LDS, the Mormon church. And that's not very common here. Like that is taboo in where I live. And everyone is either Baptist or Southern Baptist or some other form of that vein of
Yeah.
Christianity, right? And even though Nanny made that choice and joined the church, no one shunned her, guys. Like they still talk to her. They still talk to my family. We still play and laugh and have a good time.
Yeah.
And they know that how we feel. And like we, as I'm just using like collective language here, like they knew these people and love these people. In today's age, I feel like just that shit, nobody would speak to each other. Or like
Potentially, yeah.
it's easy to cut
Mhm.
off. It's easy to be like, you
Yeah.
know what? I don't, meh, meh. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying like deal with shit and don't have boundaries. I'm not saying that. Or like just be in the space because you're family, because I don't believe in that either. But what I do believe in though is like it's cool to say I don't believe what you believe, but I love you and I love you for
Exactly.
you. And I'm
Yeah.
not sitting here trying to push what my beliefs are on you. No one's ever tried to convert the woman. No one's ever tried to convert
Yeah.
my mom or my aunt or my uncle or my siblings and my cousins growing up. No one told us we couldn't be in their home, we couldn't enter their house of worship, we couldn't do anything, right? Like nobody said any of that. And the other way around never happened. People just were, right? Like they just like I love you for you and I love you unconditionally. There is no condition upon your beliefs or how you act or what you're doing. We can sit at this table and we can continue our bond. And that's
Yeah.
something that I don't think exists anymore either. And so I feel like that was part of my appreciation for their bond and their legacy today, was just to look at them and see like these different people in these different walks of life. And there isn't anyone saying you can't come over because you like the color orange and I like the color pink, you know?
Yeah. Or political. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just,
exactly.
it's such
Like
a
there's that
judgmental
too. Yeah.
energy
Like,
now, right?
yeah.
And it's so extreme, I feel
Yeah.
like now, because it's like people, because I agree with you. Healthy boundaries are one thing, and honoring who you
Mhm.
are and making sure that other people honor who you are, right? That's vital, right?
Yep.
Like you don't get to disrespect me, those
Yeah,
kind of
totally.
things, right?
100%.
But like there's such an extreme energy now that if you don't align with me or
Mhm.
I'm going to take my doll's dishes and I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Like
Yeah.
it's so ridiculous.
Yep.
Like, we're not meant to be the same, you
No.
know? It's like have some compassion for other
Mhm.
people.
Yep.
It's an interesting time right now. I
Yeah.
don't think that exists much anymore. So,
No.
well, this was awesome.
Yeah, this was great. I
Yeah.
didn't know where we would go with this. So the
Wait,
lesson is ground and
ground
have compassion for others
and surrender.
and surrender. Yeah,
A
and
lot of surrender
compassion.
in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
surrender. So for you, what you can control, grounding and
Yes.
surrendering. Also compassion for others, because
That's right.
even the stories and things we've shared earlier, who knows what was happening? Even if it was divinity, there's still moments of compassion that maybe could have happened. Who knows? I don't know.
Who
Or
knows?
like who knows? And so, like, I think even back to the topic of what you were saying with not saying I'm sorry, the energy is just being compassionate, like showing love and whatever that means for you, whether it's service, a hug, a high five, a text, space, I don't know, whatever that means, like for you and that individual. It's my other little one I'd add in there
Yeah.
besides the other stuff.
Yeah, I
Perfection.
mean, oh wow, I feel like I just saw like an orb fly
I
behind
did.
me. I was like, it caught it out of
It
the back of my
totally,
eye.
yeah, it
It
did. It
totally
went,
did.
yeah, it went like,
Yeah, it did. Well,
yeah.
we got people, Myra. We got people on the other side messing with us. But thanks.
We lost all 10 subscribers today.
Yeah. Hey, could we get some subscribers? Can we ask for that, please?
Yeah,
We need
hey,
to grow this channel.
there we go. New moon.
New moon. Okay,
Locking
let's
in.
add that.
I'm
However, you're
locking
gonna
in.
lock it in. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is so cool,
It
guys.
was so funny. Today we had our team meeting and we were talking about our YouTube channel for
Yeah.
where I work. And I was like, anyway, telling them like the shorts and stuff that we do, you know, and they're like,
Yeah.
how many? You don't have 1,000 subscribers, do you? No, I think we have 19. But anywho, our mutual friend that we love dearly, little Catherine, she's like,
Yeah.
you're on YouTube? Spiritual and Sassy's on YouTube? She's like, why am I paying for Spotify? I said,
Hey, you know
so maybe
what?
we got Catherine, we might have
Actually,
20.
actually, I got a couple other things to say. I'm not
Okay.
done, folks. Whoever the
All right.
hell's hanging on this long, I love you. I love you. I love you. Today, so I have a gift of my voice, and I'm leaning into it, guys. Again, I'm owning this shit, right? Today, I talked to a coworker, and I said, my dream job would be to combine the metaphysical space and like astrology or whatever with branding or corporate. Like, I actually don't mind corporate. I really don't. So, like, I don't have any ill will towards a corporate structure. And I was talking, I'm like, but even if it wasn't for that, I would just love to do some form of like, I want to be in the space in a consulting lens. Okay. Anyways, we
Mhm.
started talking about the podcast, and she's like, you should totally get a Patreon. And I'm like, what? And she said, yeah, like it feels really kind of weird at first, but you can like have subscribers if people want to, even if it's a small fee, like $2, I don't know. And then they get more content from you or exclusive stuff. And then they subscribe through your Patreon. And she started giving me all these ideas. And I'm like, how cool is that? Like, I just started chatting with this person,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, you should do this. Like, this is an option, or you should do that, or do this. And she has one because she's a writer and she has her own newsletter. And so she has like subscription based newsletter and stuff like that. And so it was really cool, like to get that little seed. I don't know, like just hearing
That
the
is
YouTube
cool.
stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then I forgot the other one. The other one was kind of good too, but I don't remember it.
Write it down for our next one.
Yeah. So if we get a Patreon and all 5 of you want to convert
Yeah.
for $5, it would be great
We would love
because
that.
I hate asking for people to subscribe, but you know, it would be dope if you
But
wanted
it
to
really
support
does
us.
help. It's just the way the world works. We can't
Yeah.
control algorithms without, you know.
Yeah.
But so anyway,
So I put a lot of shit out there for us today,
yeah.
verbally. I was like, you know, so new moon, harness it in, folks. Harness it in for us too.
That's right.
Pray for us. Send us love.
And subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Prayers and
Tell your
subscriptions.
friends.
Thank you.
Well, this has been fun. Just what I needed. So
Yeah, me too.
all right. Well, until next time, keep your vibrations way high.
And stay sassy.